increases cardiovascular risk, both at the population level and at the individual level. Thus, rise, fat, diet, heart disease, hypothesis. Diyan po nag-umpisa ang hypothesis that cholesterol is bad. But ilan ginamit ng country? Study flow. Random selection was not made and subjects are purely men. Kasi women, they need high cholesterol up to 1,000, normal women, up to 1,000. The study began with a great many more countries. That is 21 countries. But Case deleted the countries whose result did not match his preconceived conclusion. So out of the 21 countries, 2/3 did not follow his conclusion. 2/3 says it's good to take cholesterol. 1/3 only followed. But he reported only 7 countries. So what happened to the rest? The 14 countries gave results opposed to what he wants. So you see the flow there, right? This is the first test of cholesterol. The first test of the prudent diet was the Joliffe Anti-Coronary Club in New York. See, Dr. Joliffe is a member of the Anti-Coronary Club. The Anti-Coronary Club believes that lowering your cholesterol will save you. Okay, spearheaded by Dr. Joliffe. Okay, in New York City. It went on for 9 years. Okay, from 1957 to 1966. Okay, so what they use? 2 sets of people. One set are professionals. I think total about 2,200. One professionals. They were given high fat, high cholesterol, plenty of butter, plenty of cheese, plenty of egg. The other one, instead of giving no egg, no butter, no cheese, only margarine, cooking oil, and high carbohydrates, and fish, and chicken. So what's the result? The serum cholesterol in the subjects the result. The serum cholesterol in the subjects living on the prudent diet had dropped to 200 mg/%. That is what they want to claim, right? From 221 to while control is 250, so that's very high, right? According to the American standard. What the public, that is reported by the journal American Medical Association 1966. What the public was not told was that there had been 8 deaths from heart attack while living on the prudent diet, whereas there have been no deaths from heart attack among the controls. Walang namatay sa mga high fat, high cholesterol. Nagkamatayan 8 sa low fat, low cholesterol. Okay? And total deaths on the prudent diet is 26. High cholesterol diet, total death is only 6. Why? Why very high total death? Because of cancer, heart attack, suicide, and trauma because of lower cholesterol. So that's the very first study, following Ansel Keys study, okay, on the prudent diet. And prudent diet is actually being followed until now. Until now, everybody is following the prudent diet, and that's what we call the pyramid diet. Framingham Heart Study, to demonstrate that cardiac health can be influenced by lifestyle and environmental factors and by inheritance. Subject, 5,209 healthy men and women aged 30 to 62. Method, cholesterol intake was measured and compared with blood cholesterol. Result, study found no relationship between the amount of cholesterol eaten and levels of blood cholesterol after 20 years. That means if you increase your cholesterol intake, your blood cholesterol will not increase. Okay? Second, a follow-up report after 49 years showed that dietary saturated fat reduced stroke. That is Journal of American Medical Association 1997. Conclusion, there is no relation between a fatty diet and heart disease. So the more fat you take, the more your hearts are protected from heart attack, stroke, and cancer. In the 1960s, the American Heart Association (AHA) presented the likelihood hypothesis originally postulated by Ansel Keys as the cause of the heart disease epidemic, and they launched the prudent diet, the one that I discussed earlier. Target dietary cholesterol should not be more than 300 milligrams. Butter, egg, cheese and beef should be replaced. So they remove butter, they remove egg, they remove cheese and beef with corn oil, margarine, chicken, and cold cereals. If egg is to be consumed, it should be limited to 3 eggs per week, or 1/2 egg a day because it contains 230 milligrams of cholesterol. So what's the result? The result was shown earlier, right? Even on the 6th year, Dr. Jolie, who headed the study, died on the 6th year. So total death for heart attack is 8. Total heart attacks 8, and total death is 26, and 0 heart attack for the non-food for the control. Although at first the American Heart Association, AMA, at first opposed the commercialization of the lipid hypothesis and warned that the anti-fat, anti-cholesterol fat is not just foolish and futile, it also carries some risk. So, American Medical Association acknowledged cholesterol lowering is foolish. Okay? Pero, later on, nag-iba na sila ng style. No, so that later on they changed this. I don't know why. Parang music, I don't know why. You ask me. The American Heart Association, however, was committed. In 1961, the American Heart Association published its first dietary guidelines, the substitution of polyunsaturates for saturated fat. Remove polyunsaturated fat, change that with polyunsaturates. Again, in 1966, Jeremiah Stamler, who co-authored the AHA Dietary Guidelines of 1961, wrote, "Your heart has 9 lives," introduced his version of the prudent diet. Low-fat milk products like skim milk, non-fat milk, and low-fat cheese were recommended instead of cream, butter, and wheat cheeses. Tinanggal ang cream, butter, and wheat cheeses. Reducing egg consumption further and cutting the fat of red meats. And the book was sponsored by by makers of the Mazola corn oil and Mazola margarine. And that was given to all doctors. Yan ang ginagamit na CME. Hanggang ngayon, until now. Right? Dr. Paul W. White. Dr. W. White introduced the ECG to America. He's a cardiologist, so he's well known, right? Disputed his colleagues at the American Heart Association, members of cardiologists and AHA, and noted that coronary heart disease in the form of myocardial infarction was non-existent in 1900, when egg consumption was 3 times what it was in 1956. Now it's 10 times compared to us today. So they eat 10 times more. And when corn oil was unavailable, wala pang polyunsaturated fat. These are his exact words. Quote, "I began my practice as a cardiologist in 1921, and I never saw an MI patient heart attack until 1928. But in the MI 3 days before 1920, the fats were butter and lard, all high cholesterol food, saturated fats. And I think that we would all benefit from the kind of diet that we had at the time when no one had ever heard the word corn oil."